Hey, folks, welcome back to Chris Wyatt Africa. This is Chris in central Pennsylvania. With the municipal elections just days away in South Africa, yet another reason not to vote for the African National Congress. As I've told you over and over and over again, South Africa's ruling ANC runs policies based on racial discrimination. And who suffers? All South Africans, black, white, and brown, all suffer as a consequence of the naked, vile bigotry and racism of the African National Congress. Case in point, the equity court just decided in favor of a South African because he was discriminated against. The only suitable applicant for a senior magistrate appointment, yet the former minister, Jeff Radebe, rejected the Magistrate Commission's recommendation. Radebe, who was Minister of Justice and Correctional Services from 2009 to 2014, refused to appoint Martin Kroukamp as a senior magistrate at the Alberton Magistrates Court in 2011. Why? According to the equity court, apparently because he's white. This vile, naked discrimination is the norm for the ANC. Today, Radebe is a special envoy to Eswatini, no skin off his nose, denying permanent employment to someone who was qualified, in fact, the only qualified applicant for the position, yet denied simply because he was white and presumably male. But Martin Kroukamp spent a decade fighting ANC racism, and he won today. Ironically, back when the Magistrates Commission made this recommendation, they even actually complied with the racist ANC policy on race and gender balance, stating that Kroukamp's appointment would not disturb the racist policy on gender and race in the Alberton Magistrates office. It wouldn't upset the balance. Now, Kroukamp was appointed to the magistrate's position in an acting capacity for the past decade, always in a position that someone could come along and replace him simply because they had the correct skin pigmentation. Now, this went back and forth. Radebe, after getting the recommendation from the Magistrates Commission to appoint Martin Kroukamp, decided not to accept anyone for the 23 vacancies. Radebe had, after a back and forth, declined to make any appointments to fill the 23 vacancies, saying the pool of candidates was inadequate in achieving transformation in judiciary. You see, the ANC doesn't care about justice, the rule of law, the welfare and safety of South Africans. It cares only about racial hatred and racial revenge. The minister considered this was more significant, especially at the level of senior magistrate, where these vacancies occur, as it is the management echelon of the judiciary where we still experience acute underrepresentation of black and women judicial officers. Really? Well, so what? There's a reason for that. It takes an experienced jurist to fill that position, or experienced advocate, not someone that just rolled out of law school. He advised the commission to re-advertise the positions, which prompted Martin Kroukamp to approach the courts. He argued the minister's decision not to appoint him constitutes unfair discrimination on the basis of race and or gender in contravention of sections 6, 7, and 8 of the Equality Act. Guess what? He's right. We now know that the minister came and testified. In my view, the minister was clutching at straws. He could not convincingly explain why he steered away from all the responses the commission gave to him through the exchange of a number of correspondence which offered him additional information. He remained fixated to his explanation that only one recommendation proposed and the limited pool of available candidates was the reason why the first complainant and other candidates were not appointed. The position of the minister in this case seems to be that no matter how hard the Magistrates Commission tried to explain the suitability of the first complainant, Martin Kroukamp, to be appointed as senior magistrate at Alberton, he was not prepared to appoint a white male to that post. His position seems to be that a white male cannot be recommended for an appointment given the constitutional injunctions. Nothing in section 174, subsection 2 of the Constitution prohibits the recommendation or appointment of a white male. Now, Ralinga from the Equity Court ordered that Kroukamp be immediately appointed to the position of senior magistrate for the district of Alberton, Palm Ridge, and Katlehon. Solidarity, who took the case for him, said Kroukamp's matter would pave the way for future litigation regarding appointments by state departments. The attorney for Solidarity, Anton van der Bill, or head of legal matters, should say, said it's absurd that race dictates appointments. Solidarity regards its ruling an appointment as a victory against this type of discrimination and will continue to fight for justice to be done for similar cases as well. Well, bully for Solidarity and bully for Martin Kroukamp, but he lost a decade of his life pointlessly, needlessly. He's had to carry the title of acting senior magistrate instead of being actually what he should have been, the acting or the actual senior magistrate. This bigotry and naked racism, the African National Congress gets away with, but the National Party couldn't get away with it. Why does the world look the other way while a party emulates many of the same policies of the previous government? I guess because it's okay to discriminate against white folks. It's the only explanation here. It's disgraceful. Such action taken against a Black or colored or Indian South African would be equally reprehensible. People should be judged for the content of the character, for their potential, and for their performance, not based on their skin pigmentation and ludicrous, ridiculous quota systems. If the only qualified candidates are Black women, fine, then that's who the qualified candidates are. If you have a problem with not having enough qualified candidates who are Black or female, then perhaps you should look at your process of developing those candidates. Of course, the ANC has looked at this, and because they weren't getting enough Black members into the higher strata of economic development, mostly because they were stealing and using the BEE to their own purposes instead of enriching all South Africans, enriching themselves. But because they haven't done that, they thought the solution was simply dumb down the education system, lower the standards to 30% for 2 marks for passing on the matric exam to enter university. Of course, white students can't score 2 subjects at 30%. They have to score much higher and still get excluded from university. It's no wonder South Africa is a disaster and imploding. The ANC's rule has been nothing short of violation of human rights and human dignity at every turn, at least in the last 15 years, perhaps all the way back to the beginning. Folks, this is disgraceful, but notch one up for the rule of law. We've had several rule of law successes here of late. The Constitutional Court rejecting the Independent Electoral Commission and the ANC's bid to scupper the municipal elections, sticking to the rule of law and the Constitution. We see this going on now. We see the conviction against Jacob Zuma for his contempt of court. Now, of course, he didn't really serve any real jail time, but that's not the point. The point is there was actually a conviction. So we are seeing some rule of law decisions that are taking place in South Africa. It's about damn time that the courts did something, because the ruling party, the police, the ministry, or the Department of Injustice does nothing to solve South Africa's woes. It only uses that power against minority South Africans and to the advantage of the ruling cadres. Election comes, folks, on the 1st of November. It's a public holiday in South Africa. 26 million registered voters. Y'all should get out. Pull that ballot, pull that lever, mark that paper, and do not vote for the African National Congress or the little armed wing, the Economic Freedom Fighters. Vote for other opposition parties. End the tyranny of racial discrimination, which has never disappeared in South Africa. It's just taken on different guise. Instead of the people at the top being all white, they're mostly Black, and a lot of them are race hustlers. Well, folks, if you're not a subscriber to Chris Wyatt Africa, why don't you become one? Smash that button right down there. You become a subscriber. Be sure to toggle the bell icon to get notified of all updates. And YouTube doesn't really notify people of updates. So watch one of my live streams, and my moderators will tell you where the Telegram and WhatsApp groups are, so you can join that to get notified. The Telegram, Chris Wyatt Africa announcements on Telegram, is where you can find every one of my streams announced in advance, because YouTube fails to do so. Thanks a lot, folks. Take care of yourselves. God bless.